it's Rowie from New Zealand. Thank you so much for the privilege and the honour of being a part of this very special event. I have some very awesome, amazing memories of my times that I've come to Portugal for this conference. I had my 40th birthday in Portugal, so a very special memory in my mind of what a beautiful country you have. Cristiano Ronaldo is my favourite footballer, and that happened when I came to Portugal, and his face and beautiful body was everywhere. And isn't that the interesting thing about the connections between countries? It could be sport, it can be business, it can be exercise, it can be the drive for making the world a better place. And isn't that why we're all in business? Because we love being healthy, fit and strong, and we want the world to be healthy, fit and strong. And how do we do that without great people? So that's my special reason for being here, is how do we attract the right people into our business? How do we find them? How do we keep them, and how do we make sure that we train them effectively so that they make our business better? I'm inside in my office and I don't want to be in here because it's beautiful outside. So I'm going to take you out to my outdoor training area. I live in the South Island of New Zealand. It's cold outside, there's snow on the mountains and it might be a bit windy, but we're expecting rain tomorrow, which means the snow might not be there tomorrow. So I'd love to share with you one of the most beautiful places in New Zealand. So let's go chat about how to attract great people into your awesome business. Woohoo! Boom! Finding great people, keeping great people for your business. Could it be one of the most complicated, controversial, challenging parts of business? Also one of the most exciting parts of business when you find the right people. And if you do find the right people, how do you keep them? It's a great question. And I'm coming at you from one of the most extreme parts of the South Island of New Zealand. So where I'm standing right now, in the winter, it's the coldest, the foggiest, the windiest, the frostiest. In the summer, it's the windiest and the hottest and the driest. So it's the most extreme place in New Zealand. And isn't that a great analogy for people? They give us the greatest pleasure and they create the greatest pain. The extreme emotions in life come from people. So how do we find great people for our business? And I feel very honoured to be asked that question. And you're probably wondering, what does an old lady in the South Island of New Zealand know about attracting great people? Well, just as a very quick rundown, I have worked in health clubs as the manager since the age of 18. I applied for a position. They wanted somebody over the age of 30 with experience. I was only 18 with no experience. But have you noticed that when you've got great people who come into your life, it's the attitude, not the skill and the training? And I think that's the most important thing. Great attitude, we can't train it into people. We can't make somebody have a great attitude. We can't give them great character. We can't give them work ethic. We can't train them how to be a respectful person who goes the extra mile. Those people are found. So I was found by a health club owner. He put me into his business at the age of 18. I had no experience, but I wanted to learn. So I paid for my own training. I went to the seminars, the workshops, the management school. I travelled the world to study because I wanted to be the best at what I do. And to me, that is a very unique group of people in the world that live their life that way. And this strategy of attracting the right people into your business came to me from one of the best in the world, the CEO of General Electric, Jack Welch. We always talk about in business the 80-20 rule, where 20% of your people will produce 80% of the results and 80% will produce 20% of the results. But Jack Welch broke it down even more beautifully, the 20-70-10. So 20% of your people will produce 80% of the results. 70% of the people will do the right thing most of the time. So the average group in the middle, you can't get rid of them, you can't fire them, you need them and you have to train them. Interestingly, the 20% group probably don't need training, but they certainly need your passion and enthusiasm and personal time, because they're the ones that are going to give you 80% of your income, 80% of your results, 80% of the profit in the bank at the end of the month or at the end of the year. And I know that you know this already. But what I learned from him is the 10% group, which is the group that are always on the way out. the people that have become lazy, the people that are over it, the people that in their own headspace, they're already gone. So you're still paying them and they're still coming to the job, they're still coming to work, but their attitude shouldn't be there anymore. And he put it so beautifully that those people are the cancer in your business. They will pull down the 70%. The 20% group will pull everybody up. But if you've got a group of people in your business who are negative, who are going the minus mile, who aren't doing what they're supposed to do, you have to get rid of them. And he put it to his managers worldwide. Every month, the top managers and CEOs of each individual company of GE, they had to bring the names of their 10%, the bottom 10%, the names of the people. And if they hadn't fired those people the following month at the next meeting, he would fire the manager because he had a really good understanding of the damage that those people could do to your business. So the interesting thing is, and I learnt this the hard way, having managed health clubs from the age of 18, I've managed health clubs in the UK, in Belgium, in France, in Australia, and now I work with health clubs throughout New Zealand. And it's been really interesting to apply this system in all those different places with thousands of different people. And it's like the law of gravity for business. You can't change it, you just have to work with it. So how do we attract the 20% group? How do we train the 70% group? Because we don't need to train these people, but these people have to be trained. And how do we make sure that we keep getting rid of these people so they don't have a negative effect on our business? And for me, that's been the greatest learning curve of all. Because after running health clubs all over the world, I then and now have educational colleges to train people for 4 things. I love to share this with everybody. How to be healthy, fit and strong, and stay that way for the rest of your life and inspire other people to be healthy, fit and strong. How to have a career or business that you love. How to be financially free. And how to have great relationships with all the people in your life, your members, your clients, your friends, your family, most importantly with yourself. But ultimately, that communication skill is all about people. So they're the 4 areas that I think life is all about. And I've been studying those to the level of excellence every single day of my life. And that's what my colleges are all about. So I had to find the right people to teach those or to be passionate about those topics. And at one stage, we had 5 colleges in Australia, 2 in New Zealand, 23 classrooms and 4 in New Zealand, and over 200 team players. And if it wasn't for the Jack Welch 70-20-10 rule, I would have gone insane. I think I probably would have died because I used to say that if I can't make these people I'll make these people successful if it kills me. And it stressed me out and it made me angry and it frustrated me and it kept me up at night until I learnt that. So I accept that 20% will give me 80%, that 70% will be average and need to be trained, and 10% need to go. So I'm very privileged that I have that special strategy in my life. And if you're not using it, can I strongly suggest that for me, and the evidence from all the other companies that I've worked with and all the other business people that I've talked to, that the people business, or having people in your business, if you want it to be as smooth as possible, and this is not going to make it smooth, people are always going to be challenging, but isn't it exciting that we've got something to work with? So if you haven't implemented the 20-70-10 rule, give it some consideration. Invest 80% of your time with the 20% group. Invest 20% of your time with the 70% group, and do that as a group. So that's called team meetings. If somebody comes to you with a personal challenge and they're in this group, I always ask, well, let's talk about that at the team meeting. And this group, we're always looking for ways to remove them. Now, the challenge, of course, with that 10% group is that every country has tough human resource laws. And I've been to human resource court, unfair dismissal court many times, and it's cost me hundreds and thousands of dollars, because for me those people are very dangerous, but I want to get rid of them as quickly as possible. But there's obviously laws of the land that you need to work with. So whatever country you're from, how do I get rid of these people in the most easy way possible? And I'll share with you, this is the way. You ready? The higher this group rises, the more this group gets frustrated. It's very easy to coach people off a team where they feel like they can't keep up, they're under pressure. It's very easy for people to resign. They want to resign because they understand that the standard keeps getting higher, the expectations keep getting higher, what's expected expected of them becomes more and more because your 20% group are constantly growing and constantly getting better. So when you invest 80% of your time with the 20% group and that group keeps getting better and better, they draw the 70% group up with them and they automatically drop off the 10%. So I got to the point in my businesses where I had lots of people working for me, but this became a very simple process because people would come to me and resign. They'd say, look, I just can't be here anymore. And I'll give you a very fun example. I've had several people say to me, Rowie, I just can't work here anymore. I can't be happy every day. Because there's always been a strong expectation in my life that my team is a happy, positive, excited, passionate group of people. And literally people would say to me, I can't be passionate, I can't be happy every day. And they would resign. So to make this process as simple as possible, let's have a look at that. Who are your 20% group and invest the most time with them? Who are your 70% group and let's train them effectively, because you can't expect people to live by brain, what's the word I'm looking for? Mind reading. Most businesses expect people to do the right thing because it's just common sense and logic. Well, as we know, common sense is not very common in any country. Most people don't work logically, they work emotionally, and particularly this group, they need a very strict training process and it's got to be as simple as possible. And I've got some great ideas for that too. This 10% group, as I shared, will coach themselves off. So I want to share with you again, this is the most extreme place in New Zealand. It's very cold out here at the moment. My fingertips have just started to go icy. So I'd love to take you inside to my office and let's chat about how to attract these people into your business, how to get rid of these people as quickly as possible by the training system that you have and by the way you look after your 20% group, and how to make sure that your attractment process, and I hate the word recruitment, I even hate the word staff. Staff is a stick that, and I live out in the country where shepherds actually have a staff and they move animals along with a wooden stick. So I like to call people a team. I like to be part of a team where we're all working together to make an outcome happen. So I want to get the right team players. I want to attract the right people into my business for the right reason. I don't want people to come here for the money. I want people to come here because they're passionate about being healthy, fit and strong, having a career or business that they love, being financially free and making sure that the relationships that we all have in our life are the beautiful relationships that add value to our life. So let's go inside and let's have a look at what I believe is not the foolproof plan to attracting great people, because there's no foolproof plan, but this particular plan certainly saved me some sleepless nights. It weeded out some of the people that tried to sneak into my businesses, and it certainly is a system that, if you apply it, will make sure that you have a much better chance of having great people in your business. So have a look at this beautiful countryside of New Zealand, and I'll take you inside to my office. Woo! Welcome back to my office. A little song. 1, 2, 3. It's as simple as ABC. The system of 3 for attracting great people into your business, for me, is the ultimate way to find great people. It was given to me as a gift, and I've certainly expanded on it over the years and used it in all the businesses that I've been involved with. Is it foolproof? No. Does it work every time? No. Will it help you find much better people than if you don't use it? Hell yes. So it's a very simple system. Just keep 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3 in your mind, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, and this system will work incredibly well. And even if you don't use all of the things that I share with you, if you apply most of them, you'll end up being able to weed out the people that are going to be the biggest challenge. And of course, if you're constantly dropping off the 10% that are going to pull your business down, you're always looking for the 20% that are going to pull your business up, then you've always got to be looking for people. So if you're going to attract people into your business, rather than let's run an ad when we need somebody, how about we keep using, and I'll rephrase, keep attracting constantly. So maybe have a group interview every month. Maybe put an ad out there every week so that you're constantly looking at people. And even if they're not available now or you don't need anybody now, what if you find one of these 20%ers, then you can get rid of a 10% really quickly. And ideally, this 70% group, you might want to turn that over pretty quickly as well if you can find somebody in that top 20%. So the first thing of 3 is please advertise in 3 different places. Most businesses I know just pick one platform, so they might use LinkedIn, or they use a platform in their country that everybody goes to get a job. They might use the newspaper, they might use Google. Use at least 3. So put your ad for your specific person in at least 3 places, all for your business. So if you're going to run a recruitment attractment group interview every month, then put that out there in 3 different places and do it on a regular basis. So you're constantly bringing people into your business. So 3 different places. Then 3 things about you that will attract the right person into your business. So it could be your core values, your mission statement, what the business stands for, what the goals are for the business. But the right person's going to be attracted to the right goal. So this is what we do here, and there's 3 things here that we are rock solid on. They're our core values. So if you're attracted to those, then you should apply for the business. Apply for the position in this business. The 3 things that are non-negotiable for somebody coming into your business are really important for your ad as well. So it might be that you have to live in this area, you have to be available at these times, you have to have a passion for exercise, or you have to have a passion for leadership. But 3 non-negotiable standards, if you don't have these 3 things, don't apply for the position. So 3 things about us and 3 things that are non-negotiable, and put that out there in 3 different places, and ideally at least 3 times a year run a group interview process. Then it becomes very exciting, because if you think you've found the right person, could it be a really good idea? And how many times have we been wrong when we've thought we found the right person and they've turned out to be horrible? They've been there for 1 minute or 1 day or 1 week and just go, I've made a terrible mistake. So let's you've heard it before, hire really slowly and fire really quickly. Now I know there's a legal challenge there, but do this process slowly, and if you do it on a regular basis, then you'll never have to do it because you're stressed and panicked because you haven't got anybody. And is it possible that it's better to have nobody than to have somebody screwing up your business? But if you use this system of 3, you'll always have great people coming through and always be able to pick and choose rather than, I've got to find somebody. So at least 3 people. Don't even begin to say, yes, we're going to give you this position until you've got at least 3 people to look at. Now we're going to look at those 3 people in 3 different ways. We'd love to look at them one-on-one, yes. We'd love to look at them in a group, and we'd love to look at them in a competitive environment. So I will always take people to play mini golf, I'll take them paintballing, I'll take them onto the football field, I'll take them out to play cards, I'll take them out for dinner. I love watching how people talk to each other. I love to see their table manners. I love to see how they treat the waitress and the person that owns the business. I just want to see how they interact with other people, because we're in the people business. So I have to see not how they interact with me, because they're trying to impress us, yes? But how do they treat the people, most importantly, the people who can't do anything for them? You might be doing the interview, but at least 3 other people should be interviewing. So I used to use my mum. My mum would sit in the corner, and when we did group interviews, my mum was an old lady. People didn't take much notice of her unless they were kind, gorgeous, respectful people. And then they would see that my mother, an old lady, was sitting in the corner, and they would go and talk to her. But my mother, a very clued in old lady, would have a look at how they treated the cleaning person, how they treated the receptionist, how they treated all the other people that were coming to the interview. And the reason that I wasn't in the reception area is I was always in the car park. I wanted to watch how people acted before they got into the group interview. So how did they walk? Who did they talk to? How did they treat the person that dropped them off? And I always like to have a look in a person's car, just have a quick look in the window. I like to know what people are like when I'm not there. One of the other things I would do is bring people to my home. 2 reasons for that. Now, you don't have to do that, of course, but this is why it works so well for me. I've always got 4 dogs, and I don't know if you know this, but dogs are very good judges of character. And every time I've gone against my dog's judge of character, it's bitten me in the bum, literally, and no pardoning the pun. So if my dogs don't like somebody, I didn't put them into my business. If my dogs did love somebody, it doesn't mean they were great for my business, but it was much more likely that they were going to be great for my business. The other thing I love when I bring people to my home, I like to see whether or not they take their shoes off. I like to see how they use the bathroom. Now, this might sound a bit bizarre, but did they wash their hands? I always know that because I've got fresh towels. I know when somebody's used the sink. I want to know if somebody has good cleanliness. We work in an environment now where it's really important to be clean in a health club environment, in a personal training studio. I think it's really important to see how they left the bathroom afterwards. Did they clean up after themselves? I like people to leave a profit. It's one of my favorite expressions, which is when you leave a place, it should look better than you found it. If somebody comes to my house, it's always nice to see if they use the door handle or push the glass, so they leave a finger mark on the glass. They're one of the things in a health club that you've got to keep constantly cleaning. If the person doesn't know how to use the door, I like to know that stuff first. These are just some of my special tips. So 3 different people need to interview them in 3 different environments at 3 different times of the day. People are different in the morning, particularly if they have to open a health club at 5:30 in the morning, than they are at 11 o'clock at night. So I need to see them in all different time frames. So if I'm going to interview them 3 times, one will be in the morning, one will be in the lunchtime, and one will be later in the evening. To me, that's really important because some people are definitely morning people and some people are night people. Then the 3 different environments, with the competitive one, watch what happens when people are put into a competitive environment. Now, you might be looking for somebody for sales, for example, and you want them to be competitive. But I always use this example. I watched a young man one day. We used to play musical chairs, and I'm not sure if that's a game that you know, but you put out a certain number of chairs, there's a certain number of people, the music plays, people run around, and then everyone sits down. But we've removed a chair, so there's not enough chairs for everybody. And you keep going until there's only 2 people left and 1 chair, and that's obviously the winner. Just a quick explanation of the game. I watched a guy one day pick up a woman, throw her on the ground so that he could get her chair. That's why I do competitive environment. I don't want that person in my business. The other thing that's really nice is food. It's always good to see how people treat food, and even more importantly, how they treat alcohol. If you take them out for dinner, how much do they drink? What do they drink? How does that whole process work? It says a lot about people. So 3 different environments. Food is a good one. Competitive environment is really great. Now, the next 3. The 3 people that are going to interview them, yes, your dog is great, yes, somebody in your family, yes, another team player, because that makes them feel special. But please be really careful here, and I'm sure you've heard this expression. 7s like to employ 6s and 5s, and 10s like to employ 10s. So if you've got an extra mile 20% person, they will want more of those in their business because they want to grow. Sprinters want to run with people who can run faster than them, so they get faster. But if I'm in the average group, if I'm in the 70% group, I don't want somebody who's better than me because they'll make me look bad. So don't use this group for the interview. Make sure you pick your very best person to help you with the interview process so that they can see the kind of traits that they're looking for. Then somebody that isn't from the business and a member or a client or somebody who's a personal coaching client is awesome because they're the ones that are going to be experiencing them. And it's also nice if you're going to trial people, and again, I'll go with the number 3 again. I hope in whatever country you're from, there's either a 3-day trial or a 3-week trial or a 3-month trial. But ultimately, there's probably a 3-minute trial or a 3-hour trial. You can usually tell in a very short period of time how quickly somebody's going to fit into your business. And usually for me, it's about 3 minutes. The longest is 3 hours. And that's the best you're going to get, isn't it? On the first day, the first time they're there, they might be scared and nervous, but they're trying to impress you. So that's the best they're going to be. So if they're crappy on that day, that's why you need to have a trial period. Now, I don't know what the go is in your country, but that might be something you need to negotiate. We have to give you a trial period. So we want to have a look at them over 3 different environments, 3 different time frames, from 3 different people. And then if you bring them into the business, there's got to be 3 different ways that you can get rid of them as quickly as possible, whether it's 3 minutes, 3 hours, or 3 months, whatever it is that you decide. That's, again, that system of 3. The other interesting one about the system of 3 is references. Yes, they should have references. And if they haven't, you've got to get at least 3. It never ceases to amaze me why some business owners don't check references. Now, I know they're going to give you only the people who are going to say nice things about them. So some business owners say to me, why would I bother checking their references? Because the people that they've given me the name of are going to be great people. Yes, but you get a chance to ask great questions of those people. And for me, the ultimate question is this: would you re-employ this person? Would you have this person back on your team? Do you love having this person in your church? Do you love having this person in your family? I think it's a really important thing, obviously, to check references. But why not create your own? So yes, ask for 3, but then 3 more. You can go to where they used to work. they've told you where they used to work. You can go to their sporting team. You can go to their church. You can go to their favourite restaurant. I always ask, where do you love to eat? Where do you play sport? What church do you go to? And I go there. For me, this is such an important process that I invest the time myself, because I want to find out for myself who this person really is. Because how many times has somebody told you beautiful, flowery, lovely things about themselves and it was all BS? It was not true. So find out. So 3 different references, the ones that they give you, but I would go for 3 more. And that beautiful question, do you love having this person in your life? And if they used to work there, would you re-employ them? And don't listen for the answer to the question, watch the body language. Yeah, I'm sure you're aware of that. Someone might say, yes, I would definitely have them back in my business. They were awesome. And I'm exaggerating. But you can usually tell by body language and facial expressions and voice intonation, even if the person says, yes, they were great, I'd have them back. Just watch the body language. Notice the body language. Yes, they were great. I'd have them back. But look at the barrier that I've created. So this simple process, and I've put a fair whack of this into notes, so you don't have to remember any of it, but just remember the number 3. Have I got 3 things that would attract people into my business? What I stand for, what I would die for, what I truly believe in? Are there 3 non-negotiable standards that all of my team players need to have so that I don't attract people that don't have those 3 things? Have I looked at least 3 people, at least? Am I running a group interview at least 3 times a year? If I've got 3 people to interview, have I looked at them in 3 different environments over 3 different time frames, at 3 different times of the day, and particularly one of them, please, needs to be competitive? Have I got 3 other people to talk to them? Have I checked 3 references? And then do I have a really nice trial period, or at least 3 trial periods? And I probably didn't make that specific enough. They might get through the first 3 hours, but will they get through the first 3 days, and then will they get through the first 3 months? So it's not just 1 trial period. Try and have at least 3 trial periods. And then why would somebody stay in your business? And that's the really interesting question. When you find the right person, why would they want to stay, and how can you keep them? And I'll answer that straight up, because I'd love to take you back outside. So we're going to do this on a different day, because I'm going to take you to one of the most beautiful places in New Zealand. Queenstown is, for me, the ultimate beautiful place in the world. It's kind of a cross between Switzerland and Austria and Portugal and the Italian Alps, and it's just gorgeous. So I'm going to take you there. But the attractment process is awesome when you find great people. So yes, what a celebration. But can we keep great people? And if we're going to keep them, how do we train them? And that process for me is very simple. I have to be the person that people want to be on my team with, but I also have to accept that I have to look after my people, and they're not going to be there forever. And there's a few exceptions to that rule. I've met a few people that have been in a business from when they started working to when they retire, but that's becoming very rare. So we have to accept that people are going to leave. So would it be a really good idea to make sure that the time that they're there, they give us their very best? But 20% will, 70% will most of the time, and 10% never will, and we've got to move them on. So let's go to Queenstown and find out how to keep the very best people that we've attracted by the system of 1, 2, 3. It's as easy as A, B, C. Hola! Welcome to the Remarkables, Queenstown, South Island of New Zealand. Wouldn't it be great if we could say that about each one of our team players? You are remarkable. But what about this? Are our team players going to say that about us? And when it comes to keeping the very best people in our business for as long as possible, the 20% group that give us 80% of the results, is it possible that what we do and the reason why we do it are the most important reasons why people would stay? So if I'm going to train somebody effectively, do they need to know why I'm doing it? So we can say this is what you have to do. But the most important thing is why we do it this way, and then of course how we do it. So for me, the training process has always been really simple. Just as an interesting side note, I've been into thousands of businesses literally, and most of those have been exercise, fitness businesses, gyms and health clubs. And the least used book in that facility has been the operations manual. It's usually dusty and somewhere in the corner. So could it be a really good idea to get your training process onto a video, onto audio, and ask your exceptional team players, the ones that you've just brought into the business, what's the best way for you to be trained? Would you like to watch a video? Would you like to listen to an audio while you're exercising? Or would you like to read? And if they are going to read, is it possible that the brain thinks in pictures? It doesn't work very effectively with words. So my operations manual has always been a book full of pictures. This is what it looks like when it's done. But more importantly, this is why we do it this way. So this is the way we answer the phone, but this is why we do it that way. And I'll just give you a quick example for that. I've always answered the phone with, "Thank you for calling the Max International Colleges. My name's Rowie. Can I ask for your name, please?" And people have looked at me a bit odd as if to say, well, why would we do it that way? But I'm the first to explain why. Firstly, I'm very thankful that you've called. Second, isn't it nice for people to know who they've called? Thirdly, if I meet somebody for the first time face to face, I don't say Rowie speaking, because of course I'm speaking. I introduce myself, and I obviously would like to get the other person's name so that I can use their name throughout the conversation. So that's what I share with people. This is what we do, this is why we do it, and this is exactly how we do it. And for training purposes, I've always been the person that's produced the training manual, produced the training video, produced the training audios, because I'm the person that's the most passionate about the business. So if I produce the video and I then give it to my new team player and I ask them, please watch this, listen to this, read this, depending on which way they learn best. Then the next step, of course, is please show me what you've learnt. So I've given you everything that you need, and isn't it great to find out if people have actually watched the video or read the manual or listened to the audio, because it's very obvious. If you're training, and there's two things there. One is the training process isn't good. I haven't done that effectively, which means the person can't do the job properly, versus they haven't watched the video, and those two things are very, very obvious. So what do we do? Why do we do it? And how do we do it so that people know exactly what to do? The 20% group will watch all of that and come up with some great ideas. Your 70% group need that kind of training because they can't guess what they're supposed to do. And the 10% group will probably not watch the video. And what a great way, and the reason why we have a trial period. Because if somebody's been asked to watch a video, read a manual, or look at a manual because it's predominantly pictures, or listen to an audio, based on the way they want to learn and they haven't done it, what a great way to find out really quickly that they're not the right person for your business. So the training process for me is really simple. What do we do? How do we do it? But most importantly, why do we do it? And that's the core values and the passion of the business. The passion. Wouldn't that be great if that came out in your training manual? But now we have to keep the people that appreciate the training process. And this is something I've learnt the hard way, and I want to share with you a really interesting story. One of the top performers I've ever had in my businesses ever. Her name was Lisa. You know when you've got a great memory of somebody doing a great job? My way of rewarding her was to write a little note at the end of every week, and I would put $100 cash into that little envelope. She was already well paid and she already had a great financial package, but I wanted her to know just personally from me that her efforts were appreciated. Now please excuse my language, but this is how this came back at me. Lisa came to my office one day and she threw the money and the card at me and she said, "Keep your fucking money." And I share that with you because that's what she actually said to me. And I appreciate that because she was in my 20% group and she was being really honest with me. Can I please suggest that the ultimate manual, the ultimate book, the ultimate learning curve for looking after great people and having great relationships with everybody in your life is a book called The 5 Love Languages. Why do we talk to people in a language that they don't understand? I speak English and you might speak Portuguese and somebody else speaks Spanish, and we might be able to get a general understanding of how people are talking or what they're actually saying by their body language and facial expressions, but we don't get the true meaning until we get the words, and that's our language. And we all have different languages. Do you know the love language of each of your team players in your 20% group? And I'll go a step further and say, do you know the love language of everybody in your business? Do they need words of encouragement? Do they need your personal time? Do they need gifts? Do they need money? See, Lisa shared with me a beautiful box that she had kept her whole life of all the handwritten notes and cards and special messages that people in her life had given her. And her feed forward for me, because I hate the word feedback because it sends you backwards, I like to go forward. Her feed forward for me was, please, Rowie, I appreciate the money, I don't need the money. What I do need is your personal appreciation of me, and I need it in the written word. So she shared with me what her love language was. And if you're in a relationship of any kind with males, females, family, friends, partner, you'll know that we often speak in different languages. So here's a special request if you want to keep great people. And you won't keep them forever. And I share with you openly that the very best people I've had, Lisa ended up meeting a health club owner, a chain of health club owners. No, rephrase. He was the owner of a chain of health clubs in Canada. There we go. And she moved to live with him. So I lost a great person. But if somebody's going to be in your business for however length of time and they're a great performer, let's make sure we look after them really personally and carefully and speak to them in a language that's going to make them feel special. So yes, please train with the most effective way possible of what do we do, why do we do it, and how do we do it, and make that really clear and really easy to understand. And then when somebody wants to be in your business, let's make sure they want to stay for as long as possible. So let's talk to them and treat them in a way. And here's my really interesting thing, and I don't know how this translates, but there's an interesting proverb or quote that says, do unto others as you would have done unto you. Treat people the way you would like to be treated. Well, I think that's really disrespectful, because the way I like to be treated is not the way that you like to be treated. We're all different. So are we asking each individual team player, what are your goals? What are your dreams? How can I help you achieve them? What kind of house do you want to live in? What kind of car do you want to drive? What kind of life do you want to live? And how can I help you achieve that? The reason we're here, we have a business that we love and we want to make sure that we're achieving our goals, but we can't achieve our goals without you. So please share with us what we need to do to make sure that you're achieving your goals. This is how to do it, this is what to do, and this is why we do it. But now we want to make sure that we look after you. So from this beautiful place in New Zealand, where the mountains are remarkable, the sun is shining, the river is making beautiful noise, please love your business. Love it with the passion and enthusiasm that your customers and clients deserve. And here's another really important question. Why would you be in business if you don't love it? And how can you attract great people into your business if you don't have a passion for it? And again, the translation will be interesting, but passion, P-A-S-S-I-O-N, is pass I on. If you can pass your passion on to other people for your product or service and why you do what you do, is it possible that you'll attract great people for the right reason? They'll want to do the training and you'll be able to keep them. And wouldn't that be remarkable? Woohoo! Hola! I'm on the top of the world looking down on creation. And isn't it awesome when you're healthy, fit and strong that you can come to the top of the world? As exercise professionals, as gym owners, as people who are passionate about health and fitness, to attract great people into our businesses is really important so that we've got the right people to inspire the world to be healthy, to be fit and to be strong. So thank you so much for having me at your conference. What a magnificent experience to be able to share New Zealand with you. I'm on the Coronet Peak, which is one of the most beautiful mountains in New Zealand, looking down on the beautiful Queenstown, and I would love for you to come visit us in beautiful New Zealand. Because when you're healthy, fit and strong, you can travel the world, you can exercise, you can ski, you can mountain bike, you can rock climb, you can do all the things that you want to do because you are healthy, fit and strong. Thank you for getting your world in the best shape possible so that we can do the things that we want to do. Ciao! Woo! So good!
today.